We're ready to go. So first of all, guys, welcome. Really quickly, just so I know who's with us, how many of you guys are already a coach, and how many of you guys are like just getting into coaching? Maybe in the chat, just put for me how long you've been a coach and how many clients you currently have. Also, like turning your camera on would be amazing. Turning your camera on would be super helpful for me. Would love to see faces. So Autumn's just getting into it, hasn't completed certs yet. Isaiah got into NCI 2 years ago, just recently got back into coaching, building the business. You have 6. Okay, dope.
Nice job, dude.
Coaching since 2014, currently 15 clients at 6K each. Wow, well done. Okay, amazing. Dr. Marcy's getting in the car. Fantastic. Who else?
Nicole just got certified. Love that. Did you get certified through us?
No.
Oh my god.
Who'd you get certified through? Who'd you waste money with?
No. It was a Groupon. I admit it. No. I just found you guys last night, so I wouldn't be for all I know.
You don't need a Groupon to pay $1.
That was like NAC something.
Yeah, that's probably garbage.
The information was good, but ChatGPT let me pass the exam, so that doesn't count. So I'm fresh here to learn.
Okay. Interesting.
I love it.
So do you feel like you're equipped to help clients, or like you just answered a bunch of questions with ChatGPT help, just out of curiosity?
I literally just got my feet wet. I just wanted some information, and then I found this. I'm like, you know what? Now I'm getting the real information because, I mean, who cares about mitochondria, right? So I read the material, but it just doesn't actually help me to apply it and help clients. So
yeah,
I was looking for something better.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I've had over 10,000 clients since I've been a coach, and not one has asked me about mitochondria. Like, I know that's shocking. I know that's really hard to believe.
I know. I used to train people in my very first job, and they train people on the history of rice. Have you ever been in a store and asked the person, well, can you tell me about the history of rice? You ask, what rice do I need for risotto, right? You need the application. But they taught history of rice, so that's just, it comes to say application matters more than random facts.
I agree. And listen, I don't want to sit here and say that in no way should you not be educated. I think that we all should have the ability to answer questions, but I think that it's extremely misleading for certification companies to tell you that knowledge is all you need, and not give you application. I also think it's extremely misleading to think that what's in most textbooks is how things show up in the real world. And a lot of times, right, like we all understand it. If it was as simple as just figuring out someone's daily energy expenditure, putting them in a calorie deficit, and then complying to that, like none of us would have a job. And so the reality is most people come to us in a situation where that's no longer working, and or they can't figure out how to put that into practice. And that's really always become our job as a coach. I didn't get very many answers in the chat, so I would love it if you guys could engage like a little more. This is meant to be an interactive seminar. So if the rest of you guys could tell me like how long you've been a coach and how many clients you currently have, that would be really amazing. Just because obviously that's going to help me tailor what we share tonight for you guys. I will tell you this, right? One of the things that I think all of us need to understand is that I'm pretty sure all of us here are here to create a career, right? Like, is there anyone here where you're just like, yo, this is a hobby. I don't really care about making money from this. It doesn't really matter. Like, can you just type the word career if you agree this is a career for you in the chat? Isaiah's definitely in for it to be a career. Veronica, career. Okay, great. Autumn's moving from corporate world to career. Renee, still a career, side job, right? Amazing. Marcy, you're a functional medicine health coach. That's fair, right? I actually believe that a lot of us are moving to, or I think that the industry is evolving towards that. That being said, I think a lot of your clients just want to know how to solve their problems. And I think that if we were to talk marketing, we wouldn't necessarily talk mitochondrial function in the marketing side, perhaps in the client situation side. But we definitely can do that. Nicole, very new. Heather, career. Okay, fantastic. So the one thing you have to understand, guys, if you're here because you want this to be a career, you also have to begin thinking of yourself as an entrepreneur. Okay, you have to begin associating with the word entrepreneur, which means for us to win the game of being a coach, for us to have a career in coaching, we have to not only be able to get amazing results, whether we talk about mitochondrial function or not, right? But we also have to be able to get those clients. How many of you guys right now, you're super confident that you can go out into the world and get all the clients you need for this to be the career that you desire it to be? Yes or no in the chat. No. Okay. So nobody here feels like what they're, so autumn hoping, hope is not a very good strategy, right? And so at the end of the day, most of us have a hard time when it comes to getting those clients, right? Michelle with NCI Self. Yeah, we're pretty good at that whole client acquisition thing. People actually are wanting to throw millions of dollars at us lately to help them acquire clients in their business, which is really fun. Cool. So you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur recognizes that this whole thing is not just go out into the world and get clients, right? And that's kind of like how it worked for me. So quick backstory, those of you, I know Nicole, you said you just learned of us last night. Some of you guys may not know my backstory, but long before I was the owner of NCI, long before I was the guy that had made tens of millions of dollars running nutrition coaching companies, I was the guy that was flat broke and couldn't afford coffee. And so what I want to make sure happens over the next 3 nights is that you guys don't become the broke coach like me. Okay? And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to do 2 things. One, we're going to eliminate doubt. Okay? We're going to make sure that you are extremely confident in what you're building and how it will deliver you the leads and clients that you desire. And number 2, you're going to become action takers. Because I promise you, this isn't the first training you've ever been on. It might be the first one with me, but it's not the first training you've ever been on in your life. And chances are, when we look in the mirror and we're like, have I really implemented everything I've learned in every training I've attended? The answer is probably not yes. Most often, we go to these trainings, we leave, we're really excited, we're like, I'm going to do that, and then like a month later, we find ourselves back on yet another training, perpetuating the cycle. And so what we want to make sure is that we give you the confidence, we teach you a model that is going to be successful, but more importantly, that you guys agree to go out and to execute. Okay, so I think it's a really interesting time to be an online coach right now. I think more than anything, the marketplace is changing, and in periods of change is usually when things are wide open. Okay? And what I mean by that is there is a completely new structure from getting somebody's attention to getting them to become a high-paying client of yours. Over the last couple of years, there's been lots of things that have happened, right? We've had elections, we've had recessions. Not that long ago, we had pandemics, right? We've had all sorts of things happen in the world. And I think that the one word that we can use to describe what has happened in the world is uncertainty. Good, bad, ugly, and different. We all have our viewpoints, and that's all okay. But what it's created is uncertainty in the marketplace. But more importantly, it's created uncertainty in the mindset of the consumer. And so when we start to look at this, how many of you guys were a coach like in COVID times? 2021-ish, 2020, 2021. Anybody in here coach? Okay. Like Veronica said, me, Heather, yes. Okay. What a lot of you probably remember is that during COVID, everybody became a coach. It was like, I'm working a career. I'm now in my house. I might as well make money working from my house. Right? Michelle, you're smiling, like you head nod, right? And so you remember that time. Everybody became an online coach. The problem is everybody became an online coach. Most of them had no idea what the hell they were actually doing. But they saw this opportunity. And when you look at the state of the world, people were trapped in the house. They wanted connection to a human being. They had more money because the government was just handing out money. And magically, we saw this boom in online coaching. We saw people going into social media, sending messages to strangers, basically saying, give me $5,000, I'll coach you for 6 months. And they were like, sure, take my free money that the government gave me. I mean, for lack of a better explanation, that's kind of what happened. But then you start fast forwarding to 2023 and 2024, and now we're in 2025. All those people that invested that money, they have one thing in common. They still didn't see a result. And the problem with not seeing a result is now they're like, well, shit. I don't trust online coaches. So now your messaging begins to fall on deaf ears. Now your marketing is no longer working. Now you're struggling to get people to download your free shit, let alone consider having a conversation with you around working with you. And all of that consistency that all the gurus promised you doesn't exist. How many of you guys, like, you actually feel this? You've been in the space long enough where you're like, yeah, like, I actually kind of noticed this. Yes or no in the chat. Like, if this resonates, just like yes in the chat would be super helpful. So I can see people that have like been in the game. Heather Benz, for sure, you've been in the game a minute, right? Amazing. Okay, so some of you guys have been doing this. Awesome. So really quickly, what used to work was very simple. The arbitrage was attention. Meaning, if you were an online coach and you got enough attention and you had just a reasonable script to get in front of people, you could move them into being a client very quickly. Like, that was the key metric. In fact, like, we were reviewing documents yesterday and we came across one that we called the Mindometer. It used to live in NCI, right? It was called the Mindometer. Our former COO, he built it. He was a genius when it came to like spreadsheets. And as we're going through it, right, MIND stands for Most Important Number Drivers. And this document basically taught people how to track how many leads are you getting, meaning how many people are coming in your funnel, how many conversations are you having, how many sales opportunities are you having? And how many closes are you getting? How many of you guys are like, that seems like the right business model? You're like, yeah, like I just need people to come in my funnel. I need to talk to them. I need to sell them. And then I need to close them. And then I need to add more money. Like that seems reasonable. Except like that doesn't work. And so all the people that are still reliant on that, how many of you guys love to go to your social media, open up your Facebook Messenger and or your Instagram DM box and see all the spam that's there? How do you guys like that? You're like, man, I can't wait to reply to those motherfuckers. It's so much fun. Right? It's not fun at all. How many of you guys think that's like a really good strategy to get high quality clients? We had a client just today. She was like, oh my gosh, somebody's leaving. And this client just started with us like a month and a half ago. And I said, the problem is you're operating in the old model. She said, somebody's leaving, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, what are you currently doing? She's like, well, I have to go find a new client. The problem is finding clients has become 10 times harder. Like, this is the problem. Can we all agree? Is there anybody here that disagrees that finding clients is 10 times harder? And if you disagree, I want you to teach tonight. because you know something I don't know. But is there anybody here you're like, yo, finding clients is not a problem? No, like it's very difficult. So when we start to look at that, we now have to start to understand there is a brand new model. And this new model is exactly what I want to teach to you over the course of the next 3 days. This new model is predicated on one word, and that word is certainty. If you cannot create certainty in the mindset of the consumer, you will not in any way be able to facilitate movement through your funnel. How many of you guys know what I mean when I say your funnel? Is there anybody here that does not know what I mean when I say your funnel? And by the way, there's no stupid questions here. So by all means, like if you don't know, just tell me you don't know so I can define it. Well, maybe I'll just define it. Your funnel is your list of assets, the things that you own, not borrowed, so not your Instagram platform, not your Facebook page, right? The things that you own. So like your email list, your SMS list, anything where you can send out broadcast and guarantee delivery, right? That is owned traffic. What's up, Malachi's friend? I don't know who you are, but what's up? Right? You have to be able to get people into that first owned asset and then move them through a sequence to get them to become a paying customer at whatever rate you desire. Okay? That is your funnel. We just said that certainty, Joseph Batista, what's up, man? I think he's like an NCI guy. So what's up, dude? Like, I recognize the name. Cool. So like coming in, we understand that lack of certainty is the big barrier here. Well, let me tell you what does not beat lack of certainty. Giving away more freebies doesn't beat lack of certainty. Posting more on social media does not beat lack of certainty. Making more content does not beat lack of certainty. What beats lack of certainty right now is getting people to make their first investment with you. Right now is when you start taking notes. Guys, there's 3 kinds of leads in the world. There's what we call marketing qualified leads. There's sales qualified leads. And there's paid qualified leads. Most of what you guys understand right now, or what you've been taught, is MQLs, marketing qualified leads. A marketing qualified lead is somebody that has given you their contact information, that has opted into a traffic source that you own. Somebody that has opted into your email list, somebody that has joined your Facebook group, somebody that's gotten on your SMS list, right? That's an MQL. A sales qualified lead is somebody that books a sales appointment with you and actually shows up. That is an SQL. Back in the old model, in the Mindometer days, we looked at MQLs and SQLs. The problem is, how many of you guys right now, if you send an email broadcast, you're confident that you can produce the results that you want? You could get all the clients that you want. Anybody? Anybody here? There's 43 people on with us live right now. Is there anyone here you're like, if I send a text and an email, I guarantee I can get the result that I want. I could get movement through my funnel right now. Interesting. But they told us to get leads. They said get MQLs. Get all these people onto your list and in your group. And if they're on your list and in your group, that ultimately you just got to nurture them and they're going to buy from you. Really, we've all been told this lie. Well, it wasn't a lie a year ago, but it's a lie today. And so this brings us to the third kind of leads, which are paid qualified leads. Certainty flow is predicated on the first decision that you can get somebody to make with you. Hey, Nicole, you bought a certification on Groupon. Did you buy our certification for $1 after that?
I actually bought the $47.
Okay, fantastic. And I'm going to guide you through that in just a moment. But you started with the $1, right? And then you did the 47. So you spent 48 with us, right? Congratulations, right? A super smart thing. By the way, you did that and now you're here, so you had to spend another $11 to be here. I don't know if you're in VIP, but I promise you that's the beginning of your journey with us. We thank you in advance for the thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars that you'll give us. Like, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much, right? But that being said, you're way more vested in what we have to say as a $1 certification than if I was just like, hey, here's your free shit. Agree or disagree? The notion that you had to pull out your credit card and be like, I want this information, says I'm certain that I want this. I'm creating certainty in your mind first. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I now have to deliver on that. From what you were saying earlier, this NAFC, whatever they are, didn't teach very much application. And so my guess is that even though you found them on Groupon, they did not deliver on their promises. Or they didn't actually set you up for something in the future. Would you agree? Okay. So what they did is they got a very transactional sale. I don't know what you paid on Groupon, $5, $10, $50, $100, doesn't matter. Right? But they're not going to get any more of your money. There is a very, very, very low likelihood that you spend more money with them because in that first purchase, where you actually had a little bit of certainty, you're like, okay, Groupon, cheap. If they delivered on their promise, you would have potentially spent more money with them. Certainty flow starts with one decision. Guys, you cannot fuck this part up. Certainty flow starts with one decision. Your prospect must become certain that you're solving the problem that they have, and you must showcase with certainty that you can actually fulfill on your promise. I'm going to say that one more time because I need you to get this. If you don't get this, you won't understand nothing else that we talk about will matter. You might get it, but it won't matter because this part will fuck you up. Certainty flow starts with a singular decision. Your prospect must be certain that you are solving the problem that they are crystal clear that they have. You must also follow through and actually deliver a solution on your promise. Does everybody understand that? There's 44 people here. Can I get 44 yeses in the chat that makes sense? Fantastic. So let's talk about this for a minute. Because here's what it's not. It ain't a fucking cookbook. If you guys have been on any trainings with me, you know I despise cookbooks in this space. It ain't a fucking recipe guide. It's not like a fucking mindset fucking rework. What you have to do is ask yourself, and you need to put yourself in the shoes of your consumer. I'm going to pause there. I just created an assumption that you know who your customer is. How many of you guys know who your customers are? Don't make me call you out. How many of you guys know, intimately who your customers are? You know they're real problems. Like they wake up in the morning and you know like what they're actually thinking and saying internally. This is where I think 99% of people fuck up. Joe Hoy said something on one of our trainings. He said, you need to be clear, not clever. And so I'm going to be very direct with you. How many of you guys as marketers, you love to say some dumb shit? You're like, join my 7-day fat flush. Like, do we all love saying that? Doesn't that feel kind of douchey? Does anyone else feel douchey saying shit like that? Right, Heather Binns, no. Right? It sounds so douchey to say. But let me like clarify this, because I heard Hormozy talk about this. Can we all agree that somebody in the world is going to say something to the effect of join my 7-day fat flush? Somebody's going to do it. We all agree, right? Now, here's the question you have to ask yourself. Is your ideal customer going to see that with certainty that they want to lose weight in 7 days and probably start there before they have a conversation with you? Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. And the answer is probably yes. Okay. Now we're starting to see the problem in the marketplace. We want to be cute. They need to get clarity. We must meet our clients where they are, which means as we're talking about certainty, we have to, with certainty, make sure that our funnel entry is matching up with what they desire. Nicole, you said it. They'll go with the easy solution, even if it doesn't work or isn't the right thing. But let me pause you. What if your entry into your funnel, what if your certainty flow showed up just like the easy solution, except you actually created a result? By the way, NCI, we invented this. Okay? We went out and we said, certifications, thousands of dollars. I remember when I got started, I had to borrow money for my, I think I got NSCA, strength conditioning certified. I had to borrow my mom's credit card number. I'm not even sure if she knows I borrowed it, so maybe that's classified as stealing. But we're going to say borrow, right? I had to, borrow a credit card. And I got all of this, stuff. And it's like, man, if there was this company and they did it for $1, I definitely would have had my own dollar to invest. And if the content was just as good, if not better, I wouldn't have looked anywhere else. I would have found my place. You have to establish this level of connection at the entry of your funnel. Nobody cares about how good you are. Nobody cares about your credentials. Nobody cares about your knowledge. And I hate saying this, but it's the God honest truth. Does everybody understand this? Because before I can move forward, I really need you guys to understand this. Take a drink of water while you guys tell me yes. Okay, great. Fantastic. So what we understand is that certainty flow begins with certainty in the minds of the consumer that you're solving the problem they have and you facilitating certainty through fulfilling a solution. Now, to get to your flagship product, we have to implement levels of certainty. Notice I said levels of certainty. I did not say a continuation of a journey. Do not, listen to me carefully, do not create continuations. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen since we started this. Well, I'm going to teach someone to lose the first 5 pounds and then I'm going to help them lose the rest of the fat. Nope, stop, it won't work. How many of you guys, you're going to come to me, I'm going to make you $1,000, And you're like, I'm just going to keep doing that and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe not you guys because you're actually intelligent, but let me tell you, the mindset of most of the marketplace, that's how they think. Some people think that the act of making money is building business. It's not. I understand that people could think that, but it's not. It's my job as a marketer to explain the difference. It's your job as somebody who is trying to get your clients through a funnel to understand that the very first solution you create is not the final solution you need to create for them. So it's really important as you start to stack your certainty flow that every step of your flow has a defined outcome. Those outcomes should be increasingly larger. They will come with increasingly higher price points, and they will work towards a need to invest at the highest level. The outcomes will become bigger, they will become more expensive, and they will work towards the need to invest at the highest level. You still with me? Like, we're good. How many of you right now, if I was like, okay, gun to the head, I need 4 stages of certainty flow in your business, you're like, I can nail this. You're like, I got it. Right now, rattle them off, all 4. Interesting. I'd be willing to bet those of you guys that said no idea, we're the ones that are struggling to grow our business. And that's okay. Thank you for actually showing up, investing $11 whole in yourselves, and being here. I mean, like, I genuinely appreciate that. How many of you guys are like, yo, I could nail it? Some of you in here are my clients and we're still not nailing it. Welcome to how fucking hard this can be. It can be difficult. Dan, you couldn't nail shit. You nail a fucking template and a spreadsheet. Does everybody understand how this is a different model than what it used to be? You know, Dan's legit on Google Forms. He can nail some Google Forms that are like, I would not have a snowball's chance in hell of creating. So, know your fucking lane. That is not my lane. I would look illiterate. Okay. So when we start to understand the premise of this, we now have to understand like the construction of it. The very first step is you have to optimize for step 1. Okay? You have to optimize for step 1. How many of you guys, if I helped you build your step 1, you'd feel like way more confident in it? Amazing. Okay, cool. I'm going to tell you how you can do that in like a little bit. Because actually, we just found out today, like, getting my eyeballs on things tends to work a little bit better. Number 2, you have to have that clear flow through. But then number 3, for this to be a business, you have to know where you're getting people. How many of you have your flagship offer defined? Okay. Fantastic. Some yes, some no. Great. It's what I would expect. How many of you know how you're going to scale your flagship offer to create the financial freedom you desire? Completely different question. How many of you know how you're going to scale your flagship offer to create the financial freedom you desire? Interesting. Lots of no's. Okay. Here's the deal. Nobody ever got into coaching to be like, I'm a coach until the day I die. Like, I fucking love coaching people, but I retired this weekend. Guys, I turned 41 on Sunday. I retired this weekend. I don't believe that any of us should be shackled to doing all of the coaching and high-level service delivery. Does that mean that I don't do any coaching? Huh. But I'm certainly not shackled to it at all. I love being here tonight. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that. If you don't know what that looks like, you cannot have certainty flow working for you. Sure, you can get people in the front end, but what if you send an abundance of people to your offer and you don't have the infrastructure to deliver on that? Worse yet, what if you have so many fucking people that you're coaching that now you can't manage your certainty flow? We got so many people we're coaching, we can't manage certainty flow. The result is that over time people will drop off and we have no funnel to refill them. That can also happen. This has to be a system whereby you can put the system into play, but it has to deliver the result that you desire. Most of us have not defined the result we desire because we don't even understand how this coaching profession is going to deliver the financial freedom we desire. If you look at the marketing for this, I talked a lot about freedom. I didn't talk a lot about a massive business. I'm the guy that built NCI with our team, 30 employees at the time, to $1.7 million per month. At that time, I was fucking miserable. I was working like 18-hour days. I'm also the guy that had the coaching company where I had 167 clients on my own without any staff. Also miserable, working 20-hour days. If you want financial freedom, you will start with the end in mind, and you will make sure that your certainty flow fulfills what you desire. You will not start at the front and hope that you end up there. We will know definitively what we are filling. Is this making sense? Some of you guys are like, holy shit, this whole business thing. Like, yes, I told you, career, you're an entrepreneur. Now, it's really crazy because I was doing some studying today. Like, I like to study like nerd shit. Has anyone ever heard of this guy, Gary Halbert? I don't even know if my team's heard of Gary Halbert. Anybody heard of him? Okay. Michael Robinson shaking his head. You're an OG, brother. You're an OG. Michael Robinson knows. Ronnie Adams knows. Gary Halbert, one of the best marketers, one of the best direct response copywriters and marketers of all time. And if you study Gary Halbert, he wrote the famous $1 sales letter. And what he did is he sent out this $1 sales letter. He sent it to hundreds of millions of people. And by the way, this is the 1970s. Okay? This is like the 1970s. He sent this letter out to hundreds of millions of people. And he said, your family has a very specific lineage. I would like to show you your coat of arms for $1. And everyone's like, I would love that. Right? What did that $1 do? Can anybody help me understand? What did that $1 do? Like, there's one word that we've been talking about this whole night. It created certainty. This guy can give you certainty that your family has this coat of arms, right? Sick. He delivered on his promise. Once he gave you certainty, guess what he did? He's like, dude, how great is this? You're like, that's amazing. You're like, yeah, dude, I can put it in like this massive framed thing. I can put it on a mug. I can put it on a fucking shirt. I can put it on like whatever. And he started moving you through the funnel. Imagine if Gary Halbert had so many people wanting this framed thing, but he had no idea how to actually fulfill on that. What would have happened to his business? It would have tanked. And so that's analogous to you guys being like, I'm going to nail this front end of my business and I want 10,000 online coaching clients, but you don't know how you're going to fulfill them. You don't know the margin that you want from them, and you really don't know how this is going to turn into the freedom that you desire. Certainty flow is not designed to flow you into prison. The old model did that. Certainty flow is designed to flow you into freedom. That is what we have built and what we are building. Now, I want to open up some time for Q&A. So I'm going to wrap up in 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to give you guys like 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A. Here's what I want you to take away from tonight. Number one, you are an entrepreneur. You must think like an entrepreneur. You are not a coach. Yes, you're a coach by title. As a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, which means you need to think about things strategically. You need to have the outcome defined. How much money do you want to make? Why is that important? What does that look like in terms of the products and services that you're putting out into the world? Number two, what is your certainty flow? Meaning, what is the defined front end? What is the problem with certainty that your prospect has? How, with certainty, are you going to provide the solution? What are the next steps through your funnel that you, with certainty, are going to solve more problems of? And that should dump us into what we defined in step one. Number three, how in the world am I going to get this in front of people? Because having all of this is amazing. Having nobody go through it means nothing. I used to use an analogy when attention was the arbitrage. There was this lecture hall at Florida State. It was called freshman biology. Everyone had it. There was like 2,000 people in a lecture hall all taking the same class. And this dude would come in and he would give this like amazing talk on biology. I don't like biology. It wasn't that amazing to me. In fact, I probably didn't go very much. But like 2,000 people went. And like this dude could come in and he could give a Nobel Prize winning speech on biology. But if nobody showed up that day, how impactful was that speech? It wasn't. And so your funnel can solve lots of problems. But if people aren't getting into your certainty flow, it won't solve any problems. And so we need to make sure that we're ready for that. Does everybody understand the foundation of the new model? Is there anybody that wants to live in the old model? Like you want to go out and you want to have conversations and you just want to try to create sales calls and you want to hope that your DMs and your scripts are really fucking good. Anybody? Okay, fantastic. Cool. So like the new model it is. Is everybody cool? Like, are you guys on board for the new model? Like, does this feel like a little bit exciting? Amazing. Because tomorrow when I teach you guys how to fill this funnel, right, it's going to make a lot of sense. And here's a hint. You can earn your way, you can borrow your way, or you can buy your way into having lots of traffic. NCI, currently, we buy all of our way. I would assume, Nicole, that the way you found out about us is you saw an ad. Probably, right? You had to have clicked an ad. Gloria, you probably saw an ad, right? We're running lots of ads. And by the way, you get in for $1. There's strategy and certainty flow that allows that dollar to become very cost effective towards the long-term growth of your business. And we're going to teach you that tomorrow. We're going to teach you the math, the economics behind that. Really quickly, how many of you guys are brand new coaches again? Just type me in the chat. There's like this is pretty new to you? Okay. Sick. So here's the thing. For being part of this, right, we're going to do something pretty amazing. I wasn't going to announce it till tomorrow night, but like honestly, I like this group, even though I wish you guys had more cameras on. But other than that, I like you guys. And we're gonna open this up tonight. We're gonna do it a little bit early. For those of you guys that are new coaches, we're gonna give you an opportunity. We just opened up what we call the 6-figure career kickstart. All right, and here's what this looks like. Most people, when they come into coaching, they're like, yeah, just go like post on social media and I don't know. I mean, like you guys have seen all the bullshit. Go post on social media and say like, I'm looking for 5 clients and, you know, pray that people DM you and like, it really doesn't work out very well. And I can assure you, and I have data on this, that most new coaches don't make it like 7 to 10 months in the industry before they realize that this business thing is hard and they pivot professions. And so for those of you guys that are like serious about this, we built out a whole brand new ecosystem, like a whole toolbox for you. Here's the shit that you're not thinking of that will suck. Building your onboarding package sucks. Having a lawyer build you a client waiver sucks, right? Having tracking documents, building them, not fun. Having infrastructure to go in and to actually know how to get your first couple of clients without sounding like a salesy and sleazy douchebag online, not fun. And so what we've done is we've actually looked at the on-ramp in a condensed amount of time, 4 to 6 weeks, and we're like, how can we give you all of these documents? And how can we get you to your first 5 to 10 paying clients so that this truly can be a career? How many of you guys, like those of you that are new coaches, Nicole, Gloria, Autumn, Malachi, Isaiah, right? Those of you guys that are new coaches, how many of you that would be helpful? Yes or no in the chat? Of course. Amazing. Okay, sick. Hey, Dustin, do me a favor. Put your number in the chat. Guys, by no way am I obligating you guys to do anything with this. You can absolutely tell us to fuck off. Not here to hard sell you anything. That being said, you invested in yourselves to be here. Okay? And by being here, it tells me you're actually serious about building this business. That's Dustin's number. I need you to text Dustin right now while we're on this call. 2 things. I need you to text him your name, and I need you to just type the word career. That's it. Just so he knows where you came from. And it was this training. If you're seeing this replay, because you're not here live, do the same thing if you're a new coach. Text Dustin, 717-816-2491, right? Text him, have your name, and type the word career. We are building all of this for you. And I promise you, as Dr. Marcy can tell you, having it all built out makes life way easier. I remember the very first time I did this, I spent thousands of dollars to build this out. We are not going to charge you that. I will say this, when the product goes live, it is going to retail at $1,000. Okay? We're not charging you that. I won't tell you what I'm charging because this replay is probably going to go into one of our vaults. I don't want people to go like, can I get it for that cheap? No. You weren't on this live. You don't get the discount. So send the text to Dustin. Now, for the rest of you, I have something for you too. Some of you in here are already in the Institute. You're already in Solo 7-Figure with us. You understand the power of doing this together. We had nearly 50 people on a Zoom earlier today learning certainty flow, executing certainty flow. And we all, as a group, came to the decision that, like, gosh, if I could take the front end, I could send it to the coaching team, and the coaching team gave me feedback, it would 10x the speed. This is kind of what we do for a living. We get paid lots of money to do it for people. And if you want to do it on your own, and you want to go through the struggles of testing copy and testing ad creatives and testing all that, by all means, please do it. Like, love you. You're probably like just as crazy as I am. But I like speed. I like not having to make my own mistakes. I like learning from the mistakes of others. And trust me, NCI is on like round number 18. So if you're not in the Institute, you're not in Solo 7-Figure, what I want you to do, Dustin, put your number in there again. I want you to text your number to Dustin, your name, and I just want you to write the word solo. We shut the doors with my retirement on the 90% off, but I didn't realize as many high-level coaches will be here, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to reopen it just for you guys for 3 days. It will close Thursday night at midnight. Mark my words, I won't reopen it at $500. It will be $5,000. If you're already in the Institute and you're already in Solo 7, you don't need to send any texts. We got you. You know you're taken care of. I take care of people that commit to us. So I wanted to put that out there. I'm not here to hard sell. I'm not going to harp on it. Dustin, if you don't mind putting your number in the chat again, that would be super helpful. For everybody else, what questions can I answer? Is there any questions on tonight that you need answered before we go into tomorrow night? Because tomorrow, what I'm going to ask you to do is show up with your front end of your funnel conceptualized. If you don't know with certainty the problem that your ideal customer has, and if you don't know with certainty the solution you're going to provide, I'm going to have a hard time telling you how to get people to get there. So what I need you to do is spend the next 24 hours building that piece out. Do you have to? No, I'm not your babysitter. I can't force you to do anything. If you want your business to suck, don't do anything. If you want your business to win, show up with that. And we'll be able to start telling you how to get traffic to this amazing thing that we call Certainty Flow. Any other questions, guys? Any questions at all? I either crushed it or I confused the shit out of you. Like, that was either really good or really confusing. I'm hoping it was good. If it was confusing, I can clear up the confusion tomorrow. Amazing. Autumn says it was good. One person does. 1 out of 45. We made it. We're doing it. I'm glad that 2 people said it was good. That's cool. Awesome. Okay, great. Marcy, the word would be solo on the text. Yeah. Nicole, Heather, Isaiah, great. Okay, awesome. Good. Guys, what I don't want you to think is that you have to be this like social media whore, right? I don't want you to feel like you have to post on social media all the time. I don't want you to feel like your content is the reason that your business isn't growing. I don't want you to feel like your need to go out and talk to 10 million people is like the decision maker in whether or not your business is going to grow. Like, I'm telling you factually, I spent the first half of my day today on the golf course. When I came back, our business had made something like $2,000. I spent the second half of the day in fulfillment. While I was in fulfillment, our business made more money. And like, this is how flow works in the background. It's what I want working for you guys. I want you to have freedom. I want you to have freedom. Okay? This is what we're building. And if you don't want freedom, I'm not your guy. That's okay. There's lots of people on here that will teach you other shit. Right? Yep, iPhone 318. If you're in the Institute, you have the 6-figure career kickstart. Correct. Yep. You guys will get that problem. Absolutely. Institute people get everything. And for those of you guys that aren't in anything with us, if you want the Institute, so you never have to pay us again, that's cool too. We can talk about that. I'm not here to sell you guys shit. Like, I promise you, that's not the goal. But I can tell you that I can help you way more if I can have my eyes on your stuff. If I can be connected to you through this process, I can help you way more. My job is to teach you on these 3 nights. But I'm very aware of my limitations in what teaching information can do. As Nicole said earlier, the application is everything. I believe co-op in application is the single fastest way to get this done. So, with that, it is dinner time for me. It's early bedtime for me because I got a really important golf tournament tomorrow. Dr. Marcy, right now we run most of it in GHL. We have the ability to run it in multiple. I don't recommend running it through things like HubSpot or anything like that, but GHL is our preferred place. So, yeah, awesome. Cool. Awesome. Well, guys, wish me luck. Got a big tournament tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to go well. Either way, I'll be here same time, same place tomorrow night, and we'll be ready to crush getting traffic to your Certainty Flow. So we'll see you then. Good night, guys.